I'm going to have a chat to you today, all you families out there that are double income with no kids. So the two of you, you're on good incomes, but you have no children. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. I'm going to run you through the numbers of how it is for DINKs families here at Teach Me About Property. Interesting stats, 11% of TMAP DINKs families are 25 years or younger, right? 44% are between the ages of 30 to 40 years old, and 44% are 40 years old plus, 40 plus. Now that's super interesting for me because TMAP is family centric. Most of the students here at Teach Me About Property have families. So my assumption without looking at the numbers was that the DINKs families would just be young and they just haven't had children yet, but that is not the case. There's actually more couples that are DINKs that are older than are younger. And when I look at that, the reason for that is most of the TMAP young'uns are actually single. Isn't that interesting? And the families that are double income, no kids tend to be double income, no kids for a long period and throughout their life cycles. Isn't that interesting? Let's look at average household incomes. So for the DINKs families here at TMAP, the average household income is $214,000 per annum. So great income, guys. How do you know it's great? Because the average household income here in Australia is just over $92,000 per annum. Whereas for TMAP DINKs families, $214,000. It's more than double the average here in Australia. So they're on great cash, guys. Let's look at what is the property ownership like for these families. On average, TMAP DINKs families have two properties. They own two properties with 20% owning 3 or more properties. But the interesting part, most interesting statistic regarding home ownership is actually 0% of those families owned property before joining or when they joined Teach Me About Property. Isn't that interesting? $214,000 a year, 0 property ownership. And I'll tell you why. Because the interesting thing to look at is the attitudes of people. So most of the families, or most of the TMAP DINKs, before they joined Teach Me About Property, high income, lifestyle focused, 0 assets. They're focused on lifestyle. So what does that mean? Lifestyle means heaps of travel, right? We're young, we've got no kids, let's travel, let's go out and see the world. What they don't realize, because they own no assets, they're actually playing the poverty game. Isn't that interesting? They're playing the poverty game. But to them, it doesn't feel like the poverty game. Why? Because they're going out, they're eating amazing food, they're eating at nice restaurants, or it might be Uber Eats or however they do. Lots of travel, and their lifestyle feels like they're winning. But what they don't realize, if you don't own assets, well, you cannot be playing anything other than the poverty game. So what that means is they're in a position where they're playing the poverty game, but they're just playing the poverty game at a higher level. But it's still the poverty game, guys. You need to buy assets. So what happens? There's a major attitude shift when DINKs join Teach Me About Property. They start to realize and they start to get better goals. So the barrier to them achieving more from playing a wealth game perspective is they're like, oh, we don't want to sacrifice our lifestyle. So what we want to do is teach them that they should be playing the wealth game and not the poverty game. What we're able to show them is they're living far beneath their financial privileges. On the incomes that they have, they should be buying a property every year. But they're buying no properties in the last 40 years. That's not what success looks like, right? Yes, you have a good Instagram feed. Yes, you're going out and you're eating wherever you want and you're going on nice holidays. Yes, you're doing all of those things. But what they don't realize is you can own assets and still continue to do those things. There will be a period where you choose to make wise decisions and you put yourself and your future first. What we say here at TMAP is make decisions today that future you will be thankful for. Right? A future you is not going to turn around in 10, 15 years time and go, geez, I'm so glad you didn't buy that house and now the house is $2 million. That is never a conversation that people have with themselves in the future. But if you buy property today and you build assets, those assets will appreciate in value and they will enable you to live the lifestyle that you truly desire for the rest of your life. So what do we want to see? We want to see DINKs building an asset base in their 20s and 30s. We want to normalize that, guys. 20s and 30s stack assets, not just cash. Stack assets. Put your money into things that you will be able to sustain your lifestyle for the rest of your life. For life, guys. Do not get to your 50s as a double income, no children household and have zero assets. You will look back with regret and you'll be like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Why? Because income is impacted in your later years, either by age or by health or any number of factors. And if your income goes down and you have zero assets to sustain your lifestyle, your life will change forever and it will never be the same. And you will be filled with regret. But if you stack assets in your 20s and 30s, like man, being double income, no kids, it's a hack. So if you start putting your resources towards assets, it will change your life for the rest of your life. And I need you to understand that. And guys, if you're sick and tired of not playing the wealth game, and you're sick and tired of underperforming with your realized assets, and you realize, oh my gosh, I've got all of this money and I'm doing nothing with it. If you can't say, oh, this is where our money is going, and you don't know what to do with it, then let's keep talking.